I to Infinity multimedia production.
Hello, I'm a Teddy Ruxpin toy, and this is my friend G.I. Jim.
What's going on?
Yeah, thank you, Jim. And today, we might be talking about Toy Story 5, and I felt like, as toys,
Yep.
that we have the ability to talk about. Oh, shoot! The humans are coming back!
Oh, no.
please!
Okay. All right. Don't freak out. Okay, stand still and,
I swear, dude, I left my Teddy Ruxpin here. I don't know where it is.
Why would you have left it here?
I don't know. There he is, by the mic.
It was on the table?
Yeah.
I don't remember on the table.
Me neither. I guess I just...
Oh. Well.
Fitting, I guess, because we're talking about Toy Story 5 today.
I guess we are.
Yeah.
Two dudes grew up watching cartoons. Zany fun, always brighten the mood. They got or would stay the same. They love tunes, gonna entertain. So come and listen to these fine fellas with voices as smooth as jello. Watch them bring their love to you when two dudes become Toon Dudes. Toon Dudes.
Hey, Cap. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I'm doing great.
Yeah? You excited to talk about some Toy Story 5?
Yeah, I'm game to talk about the story of a toy 5 times. 5 times.
Wow. Well, hey, you know what I love about you?
What's that?
That you're the Toon.
And you're the dude.
Oh,
We're back, baby.
Wow, we are back. It's good to be back in the chair.
It is.
The chairs, rather.
I've dreamed of this moment.
Yeah, this specific moment.
This specific
Talking about this
moment.
specific movie. What was Toy Story 5 an anticipated film for you?
Honestly, yeah. It
Yeah?
was one of my most anticipated films of this year. And for a while, I was kind of embarrassed to admit that because it's a sequel movie, and it's gonna make like $1 billion and blah 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 blah. But no, I mean, even still, despite all of that, Toy Story is so special to me as a series.
Yeah.
I love the original trilogy, and I'm glad to say that 5 is also very good.
Yeah, I concur with you. I mean, I think that's something we both talked about off mic. The fact that Toy Story, that original trilogy, was something you and I grew up with.
Yeah.
I think the precision in which all of those installments came out was so precise for me and
Yes.
had such a huge effect on me. I recall when I watched the original Toy Story, which, I remember some of the movies I was watching regularly on VHS, like Toy Story,
Yeah.
Bug's Life, heavy in rotation. And I remember the thing about Toy Story that has always gotten me is that it actually made me kind of guilty when I wasn't hanging out with my stuffed animals. Did that have that effect on you?
That had that effect on me too.
Yeah.
It's the perfect little marketing stunt. I honestly cannot believe an idea like Toy Story wasn't in the mainstream before. The idea of making a story about merchandise that love you, and all they want to do is take care of you, so you should buy the merch and you should buy the toys, because how are they gonna have a home if you don't buy them? It's perfect.
It literally I got to the point when I was a young kid when I would talk to my stuffed animals.
Oh, same.
And be like, hey, I'm really sorry. I just had to step out for a little bit, but I'm here now.
Yeah.
We're gonna play. We're gonna have a good time, and trust me, I got you. It is amazing how much guilt came from that movie.
I agree. Honestly, even as a kid, I'm not gonna lie, I was like a little Sid, because what I would do.
You were a Sid.
Well, because I was a creative kid.
I'm scared by the implication of you saying you were a Sid.
So what I would do, right, is if I saw something on TV that obviously they weren't going to make a toy of, I'd be like, oh, let me see if I can mix match my toys to make that character.
Oh no.
So that's why I am officially coming out as a serial killer. Because that's what I do now.
How many squirrels were in your neighborhood?
Oh, that not many once I was done with them.
So yeah, no, I'm always curious about that with people. That's like one of the things that comes to mind recently. Like I was reflecting and writing about the Toy Story franchise recently, and thinking about kind of the, how in one way I think the thing that is so beautiful that the entire trilogy is held on to is the idea that toys are an outlet for imagination and for kids being able to discover.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that is the thing that has always been so potent throughout the entire series, and particularly the original three.
The original three. Notice how I missed one.
Yeah, so I think perhaps the elephant in the room is one that is an elephant to many. I remember when 3 wrapped, incredibly emotional. I remember watching that with my dad and my sister. My dad was a mess because it was, I want to say it came out when I was in middle school or like just start of high school.
Maybe for you, just start of high school. Because for me, I think I was in like 8th grade.
Yeah, it was still, the idea of like going off to college and everything was like still ways away. But even that movie had like kind of a profound effect on me. Because
it's looming,
Yeah, and anything to do with like growing up. There's that piece of me that's like, oh man, growing up is weird and I don't like it. Like
I still don't like it.
Yeah. Maintain that sense of like childlike wonder and being able to engage with those things is very important to me, I suppose. And that movie really holds on to that tension of like growing up but not necessarily wanting to lose the things that, like, I don't know, held on to your life. I don't know. It's hard not to have so many like really profound memories kind of tied to like the toys or the games or the things that you grew up with that inspired you creatively, especially if you are in the position where we both are, where we're pursuing the creative industry. Right. It's like, I think that that's fairly normal for creatives, is like the story behind like the thing and like what influenced you. That being said, I think 3 was such a great bumper that such a good end piece rather, that when it was announced they were doing a 4th one, I was asking myself, why? Yeah.
What would be the purpose of this when the trilogy wrapped up so perfectly?
I mean, the idea of, because I remember in the 3rd one, I was like, when they mentioned kind of offhandedly, like, even Bo, she's gone. I was like, well, what happened there? And it felt like 4 was kind of predicated simply on that idea alone. Yeah. And it just, 4... Not to say that it lacked fun and it lacked things that I enjoyed. It just felt less like a feature film for me and more like kind of an episodic side quest.
Yeah, see, what I've always said about Toy Story 4 is that it's not a bad movie. Technically, it is not a bad movie.
Yeah, sure.
But at the same time, it feels very out of place with the other Toy Story movies.
That's kind of my thing, because it's like, I think I mean, to be fair, it's been a while since I've seen 4, but I even think about thematically how so much is shared between 1, 2, and 3, and how it feels so cohesive. Yes. And 4 just feels like it still has some of that messaging, but it's different. It feels very different and not quite in the world of Toy Story. Yeah. Which is interesting, because I don't think that's a problem at all that 5 has. No. In fact, 5 to me is like, oh yeah, like this is a movie that like really does understand the characters in this world. To me,
5 finds a pretty good balance of being like kind of like the originals, not fully there, but it's in the same way as the originals, but still doing what I think 4 wanted to do, was be like a think piece on one of the characters specifically.
Yeah. Totally.
I think it balances that pretty well, and like now I start to see the vision, and it even makes me go back to Toy Story 4, and while I still don't think it's my favorite of the series, I still go back to it now with the context of Toy Story 5, and I go, okay, I think I kind of see what they were going for here now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because did you rewatch all the movies leading up to 5?
Oh, of course.
Okay, yeah. See, I didn't do that. I like revisited a couple things here and there, but I did not do the lead-in quite in the same way.
Well, I think, that's valid, because I think, once you kind of see the Toy Story movies and like you're locked in, you know what these movies are. And so for me, I watched them all again because I was like, mainly I watched them all again for 2 reasons. Number one, I want to see my favorite movies again. Literally.
Yeah, totally.
The trilogy, I don't have a favorite in the trilogy. To me, that it changes like every month. Sometimes I like Toy Story 1. Sometimes I like Toy Story 2. Sometimes I like Toy Story 3. Like, they all kind of occupy, like, my favorite animated movie spot. Like, fully animated movie.
Yeah.
So it was a chance to rewatch those. And then number 2, it was a chance to reevaluate Toy Story 4. Because I was like,
Totally, yeah.
I had not seen it basically since it came out. And I was like, I've never done that with a Toy Story movie before. So let me watch it, reevaluate it, and then go into 5, which, I mean, I do think helps. I think, again, 5 helps 4 a lot.
In what way specifically? I want to hear you kind of expound upon that idea.
Well, I guess for one thing, the biggest thing with Toy Story 4 that I've always kind of been upset about is that it kind of upends the ending of 3.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a common critique. I
Yeah.
think that people levy towards it.
And in a way, 5 upends the ending of 4, where it's like, Woody isn't gone forever and he still can see his friends. And, frankly, I do like that. In the third movie, the whole point of the movie is that, Woody has this choice to either go to college with Andy and basically just stay on the shelf or whatever, but he gets to be with Andy, or he can admit that his job is done and he gets to be with the people, that really matter now, his friends.
Yeah.
That's the entire point of the movie. And eventually he makes a choice that I need to be with my friends. I got to let go of Andy.
Totally.
And then the fourth one, they just throw that all away.
Yeah, because I think the idea of the fourth one is that I think correct me if I'm wrong, but what they were going for was this idea that if the third one is about being with your family unit,
Yes.
Being able to like recognize like, hey, my job was done. I spent this
Yes.
time with this kid. I did what I needed to. 4 is this idea that you can find essentially a new purpose and a new drive.
Yes.
Right? But I think the difference is that 3 and that struggle point for Woody it doesn't just have to do with the character of Woody. It also has to do with the idea that he is a toy. Whereas 4 has to do with the idea of him purely as a character.
Yeah.
Right? Like it feels
I
disconnected
agree.
from like the childhood proponent.
Exactly. It's like that scene in Gravity Falls where it's like, I may be a duchess, but I'm also a woman. That's what it feels like to me.
That's really funny. Yeah. I love that show.
Oh, me too. Anyways, going off of my hatred of Toy Story 4, talking about something that I like, Toy Story 5, I do think goes back to that idea about like the relationship between like humans and toys and, kind of like how they relate to each other.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it was very refreshing that the film, it felt like I just felt like, whereas 4 to me was like light and like fun and enjoyable
Sure.
at times. I just felt like thematically I was like always wondering like the foundation of the film.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't have that problem here. It's like it became very clear of like what this film was
Exactly.
talking about.
This film has like some weight to it.
And the idea too, it feels very, of course, it feels very timely. Talking
Yes.
about, kids, technology, and particularly screen time, and how that has really, in a lot of ways, like prevented and stopped kids from being able to imagine and be able to engage and be able to like. It makes a pretty strong case that maybe screens, particularly for a young developing mind, isn't always the best thing.
In fact, they mention it within the movie how these screens and the devices that they make kids grow up too fast. And I thought that was a really like poignant thing to say within that movie because it's true. When you bring in a lot of the social media aspects of of screens and technology, it does, and you have this unlimited access to like the world.
Yeah.
And it does kind of force you in a way to kind of grow up fast and see things that grown-ups are doing, and to try and kind of like mirror that behavior, but of course without that experience of actually being an adult. It gets taken too far, and
Totally.
you
Yes.
see that within the movie. And I mean, that's something that the movie does very well. They show that it's not even only the kids that are addicted to screens. It's the adults. You know, there's that one scene. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, we probably should say from this point on we are going to be spoiling Toy Story 5.
Yes.
So, just putting that out there. Hey, future Zach, put in a freaking like alarm sound right here. Great.
I was gonna do, hey, future Zach, make this the alarm sound. Toy Story 5 spoilers. Okay, you got that? Awesome.
All right, great. Thanks, Cameron.
Yeah, no problem. Don't swear.
Hey, future Zach, cut that. Bleep it. Make it sound like I said a bad word.
Oh my gosh. But no, it shows that in the movie, obviously all the kids are like addicted to screens. You know, Jesse sees how like in every single house, everybody's just sitting around and doing nothing. But also, I think it's so funny that, you know, a lot of the toys, they're able to just kind of walk around the house now because like even the adults are just like on their laptops or they're on Zoom calls and they don't even notice. And that's like the whole point, that everyone is addicted. I thought that was really an interesting point to make in that movie.
It feels like there's this issue around not being present. Mm-hmm. No one's being present. No one is, and there is a partial lament towards, you know, and a nostalgia in some ways of like what it used to be with kids playing. Like, like I think, of course, the fact that in the end of the movie, the fact that, you know, Bonnie finally makes a new friend. And they're playing in the yard, and then the kids are asking from the neighboring yard, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they're like, "We're playing. Come over."
Right.
That was so precious to me. I was like,
Same.
"Oh, that's really, really lovely." It is interesting because I remember when I watched the movie and that line that you brought up, which the line about like it makes kids grow up too fast.
Right.
There was this piece of me that, you know, it's hard not to think about at this point in time, like all that we know scientifically, you
Right.
know, with the data.
Yes.
In terms of like what screens and certain programming has done to kids that is like very hyper quick, hyper fast, and how it's like kids' brains are not developing and they're not utilizing the piece of their brain that is important for critical thinking skills. And so there's this piece of me that was like, when that line was said of like it's making kids grow up too fast, I'm like, really, it's making kids stay where they are. Like you can make a case that it's preventing it's numbing kids to this point where they're just not growing up at all.
Right.
So it was intriguing to me. Like I understand, especially with the way that you worded it. I agree with you. I think that is definitely the conceit that the film is trying to get across. However, I do think there's that other piece of like, you know, there are a lot of For all the things that technology can bring, there's also, of course, the negative attributes.
Yes.
I think the film does do a smart thing, though. And I do think there are going to be people, particularly because this film comes out at a time in the age of AI and at an age where technology is really being co-opted by forces. And, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, look. I think many people will go into this being like, well, you know, they're not going to talk about the true evils of technology and blah, blah, blah. And I get that. I get that as a frustration. But I would go into it with this way. Number one, Pixar was founded basically by having the best tech in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, one of their main people was Steve Jobs. They're not going to completely decry like tech based off of that alone. And number two, I think it is important to say that, you know, tech itself isn't the problem. I think what the problem is, and what they did in this movie, I think was very clever, is, you know, they push it off of, they go like the social media kind of aspect.
Yeah.
They go the social media aspect, but I think they also go kind of with the social pressure aspect. You know, Bonnie's parents in the movie, you can tell they are hesitant to get a lily pad for Bonnie because they don't know if she can handle it. But at the same time, Bonnie's not making any friends. Every other kid has a lily pad.
Yep.
In reality, they really have no choice. And I've thought about that many times too. I thought about that with even new parents where, they put screens in front of their kids to make them, so usually it's like, just to make them not to spend time with them. But I also think about this I'm not a new parent, but I think about this in the lens of a new parent, right? Like imagine, it's like 2 a.m. You got work at like 5 a.m. Your baby doesn't stop crying. There's nothing you can do to make them stop crying. And the only thing you have is maybe a screen with a bad YouTube video. And maybe that makes them stop crying. It's not a good choice. But at the time you think, well, maybe this is all I've got. And so I kind of I appreciate kind of how they spin something like that, like a social pressure choice within the movie's narrative itself.
Totally, because what you described is inherently the wrong choice.
Yes,
right?
it is.
But
It is the wrong choice. But at the time, it feels like I don't know
have
what
nothing
else to do.
Yeah. Especially if you have let's say for example too that you don't really have a support system as a parent.
Yes.
Right. And you don't have a community or people to gather around you to be able to help in the process. Because being a parent, relationship, the other nuances of life, like these are things that to some degree you have to figure out on your own, but you do also hopefully have a support system that can help you along in that process.
Yes.
And you're right. I think the film is very clever because even with Lilypad, what I kind of appreciated is the fact that the film did make it clear that Lilypad or Smarty Pants, wonderfully played by Conan O'Brien.
We'll get to that.
Well, we should
will
get
to
that.
him.
Yeah. But I think the thing that it does very well is it doesn't do this thing where it's all tech is bad or anything that's tech adjacent is a bad thing. It shows how Smarty Pants, for example, he also has this desire to be played with and engaged with. And I thought it was really sweet because you and I, I'm going to reveal something really big, Cab. Get ready for this. For this. We're gamers.
Dang it. No, guys, I swear it's not true. The allegations
Too
are
late.
false.
Too late. But as someone who games, I mean, similarly, it's sure, you can make a case against gaming.
Yes.
But you can also make a case that it was another important piece of making me a more creatively inclined person.
I agree.
I used to be a kid who would put on Lego Star Wars, go into free play, and then just go through the different characters and then imagine the stories of what they were going through and what was happening.
I mean, the same thing with tech. When I was a kid, I would take my mom's iPad at the time when they had a camera, and I would just film. I would film my toys. I'd film my little play times or whatever. And eventually, that kind of helped me understand more about stop motion animation. That helped me understand more about the filmmaking process in general. I think it's a very cool thing to have. And even going back to the point of doing the wrong thing, but you think it's the right thing. I mean, that's the whole character of Lilypad in general.
Yeah,
She
totally.
thinks she's helping. She thinks that, I'm making Bonnie friends. Look, I sent a friend request. We're good. I've made her a new friend. But she doesn't realize that she's making the wrong friends for Bonnie because she doesn't know Bonnie.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly it.
I think how they handled tech in the movie was fairly good.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
it was fairly good. I do think, in all honesty, I think they should have touched more on the creative aspects that you can do with tech. But as far as not villainizing it and making it the end all be all evil while still talking about the disadvantages that tech does have, I think they did a great job.
No, I agree. I would rather them exist in the nuance of that conversation anyways, because I think it's a very challenging thing to approach. It's also hard because it's the tech conversations of today or the particular things that we have within the particular frustrations that I think the general populace has towards big tech, has more to do with certain facets and aspects of the larger tech industry rather than, say, for example, using a camera and filming your toys,
Yes.
or like those types of things that like are still creatively inclined and are very explicitly clearly a tool, which is not everything.
It's not everything, guys, but yes.
I also like the fact that I think it was very clever that the film decided to focus on Bonnie, or no, sorry, more on Bonnie, yes,
Yes.
but also Jesse.
Yes.
Bonnie and Jesse became
Well,
more present. In
I was
this
going
movie.
to say, let's talk about the characters. When you're talking about Bonnie, I actually thought that was super interesting because when I got out of this film, I said, okay, Toy Story has taken lessons from Inside Out. Hear me out. The original Toy Story films, I love them, and I think they are absolutely perfect. So when I say this, it's not a critique, it's just something I've noticed. Going back through them, you know, as I'm watching the movie, I'm watching like the Andy scenes, and I'm realizing, man, if this was a story about Andy, this would probably be a really boring movie. Mm-hmm. Because, like, of course, it's not about Andy. It's about the relationship Woody has with Andy. But, you know, Andy's life is, you know, he goes to school. He goes to cowboy camp. He's moving. We don't really know what he feels about these kind of things. We're not supposed to. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know, Andy goes to cowboy camp, and he has a great time at cowboy camp. And he comes back, and he sees new toys. Awesome. But it's not really about that. In fact, it's not really until maybe Toy Story 3 where you kind of get a new look into Andy about
true.
what his toys meant to him.
It perfectly aligns when they were able to figure out what human characters should look like in animation too.
I mean, there you
Am
go.
I right or
there
am I
you go.
right?
But Bonnie has been a little bit different. And that is something that I'll even get to Toy Story 4. They have clearly established something with Bonnie, that she's an imaginative little kid who's also painfully shy.
Yeah.
They've kind of done that throughout Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4, and they emphasize it in Toy Story 5. And I think that is because of Inside Out. I think Inside
agree.
Out, what they do is, I've always said that Inside Out is like New Age Toy Story.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Yeah.
comparison. Like if Inside Out 1 is essentially Toy Story but emotions,
Yes.
Inside Out 2 is a really good kind of like precursor to what they were doing in 5.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
and
like we finally get to know. I didn't know really who Riley was that much.
Yeah.
Outside of the emotions and how they affected her.
Yes.
Whereas in Inside Out 2, I was like, oh, I understand Riley.
Yes.
Like, and I really empathize with Riley and like her battle with anxiety and like her struggle point of like trying to make friends. I was like, oh, I feel what she's feeling.
Yes,
right
look,
now.
I mean, we've talked about Inside Out 2 on the pod before, and I really could go into how much I do really like that movie. But anyways, yeah, Riley is a real character in that movie. You follow Riley, even if the emotions weren't in that movie, it would still be like a fairly interesting story about a girl who's feeling a lot of anxiety over the fact that, you know, her friends are leaving, and she has to figure out, you know, how she's going to live, you know, without her friends in this new school environment. And I felt the same thing in Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Bonnie is a character. Bonnie's a real character. A character that has likes, has dislikes, has fears. And when you see Bonnie, like, getting cyberbullied, it's like, it's sad.
Yeah,
it's a
it is.
sad scene. I don't think I would have that for Andy. Because, yeah, Andy is just more of like a plot device than he is like a character. But Bonnie is like a real character.
I don't want to play anymore. I love that, like, you
he
knew
falls.
exactly why.
And he falls into all the Zooble parts.
Hey. Cohesion.
Cohesion, right?
Last episode, this episode. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we're like the MCU now. You got to watch the last one to understand this one.
Yeah, and not watch, you know, Amazing Digital Circuit. You gotta listen to the reflection piece.
Yeah, look, listen to the reflection piece of that first, then watch Amazing Digital Circus.
Yeah,
You'll be like, oh,
exactly.
hey, they were right. Anyways,
Good gravy. Jesse as well.
Jesse
I think it was very smart. for
was
them
a
to focus on her.
standout.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jesse has the chops to be the main character of Toy Story. She does. They did such a good job with Jessie. I thought it was so bold to make her racist against tech. But no, hear me out. Because the whole movie, she's talking about like, oh, those dang devices. How you guys are making kids grow up too fast. But like, really, is the camera toy or the Atlas toy or even the potty training toy making her grow up too fast? No, but she doesn't like tech because she's taking the pain that she has. Oh, voice crack. Pain. Sorry. He's taking the pain that she has from, being outgrown for a second time. And she is projecting that on like technology and devices. And I thought that was a really interesting arc to make her go through, to even allow a character to have that specific arc of not liking a certain group and then realizing, no, I'm in the wrong for saying that. We're all in this together.
Yeah, it is interesting because it's like you can see how it is. You understand how she got there.
Yes.
And I think it's really interesting journey of seeing like, she's lived a lot. She's seen how a lot of things has changed.
Yes.
And she's not inherently wrong with tech, where it's like, oh, there clearly is a not good part of it. But then she also has to reflect on her own lack of nuance in approaching
and
it.
insecurities.
And frankly, insecurity, which is the basis of it. Yeah, I also think it was really smart. Look, one of the most emotional parts of Toy Story 2, I think for a lot of people, is that one of the saddest songs that's ever been written in a movie.
When somebody loved me, everything was beautiful. I'm singing it off key so we can't get copyright struck.
Don't. Yeah, copyright is a beast.
But they can't catch the tune.
But they can catch the dude.
That's why we're such a great duo, guys.
Brother. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the fact that they went back to that moment. Because, as soon as I heard the music, I was like, oh, no, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't want to be back here again. This is already so sad. And then they recontextualize that entire moment. And I was a little... The movie never reached the emotional highs for me and got me to a sob necessarily as much as the, say 2 or 3 did. But I'll tell you what. It got me to tear up a little bit when they revealed that essentially Jessie was the basis of the child. What was the name of her child?
Emily.
Emily named her child Jessie after her toy.
That was really good.
It's like, okay.
That was really good. That's a way of adding to like the lore, I suppose, of Toy Story and like plussing it, I thought that was such a powerful scene.
It was really good.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't know they still had it in them, but they really did get me with that one.
I think this is the thing that people have to recognize about Pixar is that people have been incredibly critical of, the more recent series of films over the last like probably decade, I would say. But the thing is, like, I don't think it's a question of me of like, does Pixar have it or not? It's like they do. They foster incredible talent.
Oh, sure.
I think, it's I think though, like specifically like when I think of Inside Out 2 or Toy Story 5, I'm like it is cool to see that reaffirmation of like, oh, they still got the chops because
Well, something that I appreciate from this movie specifically is, Toy Story 4's like key emotional moment is essentially like Toy Story 3's key emotional moment. It's like this saying goodbye, we're ending the series. I'm glad Toy Story 5's like pivotal emotional moment isn't that. I'm glad they found another way to make the audience emotional without it being like, this is the last time you're going to see the toys. Say goodbye, everybody. I thought the way they did it this time was so incredibly clever.
Yeah, I also think that they probably at this point are like, we're not going to close the door necessarily.
Toy Story 6
you know what I mean?
is inevitable.
Last thing before we end the episode is that we should talk about our boy Conan O'Brien.
Well, that was going to be my other thing. I wanted to talk about, yes, the supporting cast. Conan O'Brien. I wanted to talk about the multi-buzzes.
Yes, that arc is, yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And then the last thing is Woody and Buzz in general. So Conan O'Brien, I'll let you speak more because I love Conan, but you embody Conan, you know?
I am a redhead, and
That's
I am
true.
Irish,
That's very true.
and I'm really angry.
Guys, when the camera's cut.
I'm a monster of a man, self-deprecating and cruel. No,
Just like Conan.
yeah. I mean, look, for anyone who knows me personally, which maybe some of you who listen, and if you do, Conan O'Brien is really someone who comedically has always resonated with me. I think he does an incredibly good job of kind of, I don't know, retaining a humility and also being able to retain just a really fun, great sense of humor in everything that he does.
Yeah, guys, please convince my co-host to watch the Conan O'Brien episodes of The Simpsons.
I
putting
will.
that out there.
No, I will. I've seen the pilot with you now.
Yes.
And I've seen bits and pieces of The Simpsons, but that will be the next major
Marge versus
endeavor.
the monorail. Just gonna leave
Yeah,
that
I
there.
have seen a couple scenes from that because
Okay.
my buddy, one of my good friends, like he showed me a scene from that,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, this is probably the best episode of The Simpsons. You
it's
make a
very
good case for it.
It's very good. Keep going. Sorry.
So Conan O'Brien in this movie is great. He's just perfectly cast. I mean, I always love when movies. It's always fun when you can tell they're characters that were specially made.
Yeah.
For someone like Smarty Pants is such a perfect Conan O'Brien role where you're
Yeah.
like, of course, like his vocal range and like his voice lends itself so well to like this. Conan, if you ever listen to this, I promise this is a positive. This faux intelligent, kind of like
Yeah.
I'm better than you.
Uh-huh.
Like he plays smarmy characters really well. He also
Yes.
plays a character that is like similar, like a little uppity in Final Space as well.
Really?
So it's fun when he gets to play that role. But I also think like Conan, and this is, hopefully people understand this. The dude is so multifaceted, and like
yeah.
this role really gave him a lot of opportunities to like have some pretty good emotional beats. Like I felt what he felt.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just like, I think it's easy when you cast comedians in a role of something to have that character be incredibly one note.
Yes.
And I was very satisfied that they gave him more.
Right. No, I agree. I think Conan was very well cast in this role. There aren't going throughout the Toy Story movies, which I guess honestly, even from the original trilogy, I love like the main cast of characters, which, you know, going a little bit into this, spoilers, the main cast, Rex, Mr. Potato Head, Ham, all sidelined again, which, you know, whatever.
Sad.
But I will say that going throughout the Toy Story movies, when they introduce a new character, there are many times where I'm like, I like this new character, but I don't really see them coming back, or I don't really care if they do or not, like whatever. But Conan's character of Smarty Pants, if he's not in Toy Story 6, I think I'll riot. Because they have this one scene in the movie where, you know, the last celebrity guest, Key and Peele's characters, Toy Story 4 characters,
yeah.
they're in the movie, but they are dead silent.
They sure are.
They don't say.
I registered that as soon as they were on screen.
Yeah.
I was like, I know exactly what's happening right now.
They don't say a word. And to me, fine. You know, I didn't really care. But if that happens to Smarty Pants in the next movie, I don't know what I'll do. Because I really want him to come
No,
back. I really
he's
like him.
he's an important facet of this movie.
Yes. But going even to the other characters, let's talk about the multi-buses.
Yeah, man. As soon as that opening happened, I was like, oh, we're in for a good time.
Yeah.
Like that whole opening is like, it's classic Pixar where
Mm-hmm.
it could very easily be its own like 5-minute short film.
It could be.
You know, just about multi-buzzes and like trying to find Star Command.
Star
Command.
Star Command. Like,
Every joke with those characters is like, it just hits for me.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite the visual humor in this movie is very, very good.
Uh-huh.
One of my favorite jokes is when they're all looking and they reach the end of the island and all of them at once go, And they slump over.
Their heads, their little like pinheads, just like go down. It's so funny.
Good. And it's fun too because like I was thinking about that particular arc. I'm like, in some ways, I'm like, sure, you can make an argument that like it's not that satisfying, and it kind of feels like, okay, cool. They're being like,
Sure.
It's being used for something that's going to come through in the plot. But actually, I really like the whole story. The fact that they get shipwrecked, but then they end up being gifted, to the kids. And that was really lovely. Like I was like, I really love that being the piece of it.
I also love that in this movie, they make a point. They make a real big point to decanonize Lightyear. I thought that was so funny.
Wait, what do you mean?
So in the barn scene, where the multi-Buzzes all meet, like catch up with Buzz and Woody.
Yeah.
Buzz goes, oh, and by the way, guys, Zurg is our father, which goes back to Toy Story 2.
Yes.
But if you've seen Lightyear, you realize that Zurg,
that's
the big
what
twist.
You're saying. Yes.
The big twist of that movie is the fact that, that's not his Zurg. That's not Buzz's father. It's like an alternate dimension Buzz. I don't know. And, they make in the beginning of the Lightyear movie, which I also watched recently again. And anyways, in the beginning of that movie, they literally have like a opening crawl or whatever being like, this is the movie Andy saw in theaters. Apparently not, because they will never reference that movie in anything.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes, and of course references to Star Wars is in Toy Story 2.
Yes.
Where he's like, I am your father, and he goes, no. It's so great.
I finally defeated Zurg. Father.
It's so funny. It's so good. Yeah, and then that's a really good callback too. Yeah, there's some fun callbacks in this movie.
There are.
Speaking of callbacks, pretty much everything with Woody and Buzz kind of feels like a callback to 1.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Very intentionally.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Something that I really do love about this movie in particular is that Woody and Buzz kind of take these side roles. Which they had been experimenting with. I don't know if you've seen the specials for Toy Story. Toy Story of Terror.
No.
Toy Story of Time Forgot. Watch them, dude. They're so good. And I think it's like Woody and Buzz kind of at their best now. Because they have like these side comedic roles. And you realize, oh, that's right. Woody and Buzz can be these very comedic but charming characters. And it's something that they brought into this movie. They feel like old friends, just kind of, and they butt heads, but you can still tell that there's a lot of love between them.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of history behind them. They open up with, their kind of like the first interaction that they had in Toy Story 1 at the end of the movie when all again, spoilers, guys.
We're way past that.
Yeah, I imagine. But like, I don't want to spoil this big thing if you don't know. Is when all the multi-Buzzes, their wings pop out and they're like drones and they start actually flying. Such a magical moment. And Buzz says, "Now this is flying." Woody says, "With style." It's like, oh wow, that's nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's fun because it's also hard because sometimes when movies come back and they quote the thing from the thing,
sure.
you're like, oh, brother,
this guy stinks.
but it was lovely. It was like there was enough there where I was like, all right, you guys, fine.
Yeah,
I'll give it to you.
It felt very much kind of like the way how Toy Story 3 kind of references its past. Not overindulgent, but like these are things that had happened within those movies, and they are just simply reminiscing in a way, or they're plugging things back in that feel natural.
Totally.
But yeah, I think Woody and Buzz were handled very well in this movie.
Well, would you look at that? We've talked about so many things.
We have.
In relation specifically to Toy Story 5. I didn't want to leave that sentence off because they made it sound like we talked about all these things and people are going to be like, no, you didn't. What are you talking about, guy?
So where do they go after this? For Toy Story 6, that's definitely happening. My hope is, obviously, you have a movie focused on Woody. You have a movie focused on Jesse. Gotta have a movie focused on Buzz.
Yeah.
I think, if they did that, I think Toy Story 4 for me would be completely vindicated. Because now I'd be like, okay, I see the vision.
Yeah. That's like they're trying to, yeah, because that's a really interesting point. I think I understand what you're saying, but I think really the character that needs to come back is Bullseye.
I agree.
I think you do a Bullseye movie.
A full Bullseye movie.
Hey, Bullseye, what are you thinking?
Horses don't talk.
No, nor do toy horses talk. They do neigh. Bye-bye!
This episode is brought to you by I to Infinity.
I to Infinity Multimedia Production.